Yesterday, me and my friend were talking about this kind of dicey issue of like, how much should you allow yourself to watch movies, play video games, relax and have fun, get the free dopamine? You know, a lot of people now, if they're in the self-help scene, if they're trying to make themselves better, might say 0 or less than 1 hour a day. And I get that. And I think they're right, especially in the sense that they're kind of like addicts talking to more addicts. Like most people in the world are addicted to watching movies and TV to some degree or another. Maybe it's 2 hours a day, but I know there's that famous statistic that the American household watches 6 hours of TV a day. So probably, if you're watching this, the majority of your free time is spent consuming culture as a passive observer. And here's the thing though, is when me and my friend were talking about this, it's like, well, as a human being, isn't that kind of beautiful that we can look at a painting, that we can watch a movie, that we can discuss it with our friends, we can connect over stories and literature. And I feel that, and my mind has gone to that argument before when I want to watch a movie at night and relax and chill out. But here's the thing. There is no big epidemic of young men and women going to art galleries too often on the weekends. There's no epidemic of us obsessively looking at statues by Rodin. There's no problem of us going to the Louvre and spending all of our money on trips to Paris to enjoy the art. There's no huge thing where men are not getting anything done and are becoming solitary creatures that don't date, that don't get jobs, that don't do anything because they're too busy in their house on the pottery wheel. That is not what's going on. Culture consumption is not the problem. If you're going to your art museum on Sunday afternoons on a date or by yourself or with your friends, obviously that's fine because you are not addicted to that. What we are addicted to is watching stupid, shallow crap on Netflix or Amazon or wherever it happens to be. That is the problem. If you cut all that out and say limited yourself to, you know what? I'm not going to watch any of that stuff, but I can go to art museums. I can go to actual like high culture, as they used to call it in the old fashioned days. I can do that as much as I want and see how much you actually do it. You might end up going quite a bit because you're so starved for dopamine, and like if you can't watch reality TV on Netflix, a Picasso might have to do. So that might be an interesting experiment to run. But the point is that your mind might put this up as almost like a straw man argument, an extreme argument of like, oh, but playing video games never, like that's sad. Like, okay, I get it. There's maybe 1 or 2 video games a year. Like I think of like BioShock, game like that come out that are like really worth experiencing. Even if you're like an old man that's never played a video game before. Whoever you are, it's like a true piece of art. But how many games are that? How many games are like that? Is that the mobile game you're addicted to? Is that the Fortnite game where you like buy skins? Is that the piece of culture that you would be so lacking in if you didn't enjoy it? Is that the kind of like beautiful expression of your humanity and your ability to enjoy stories? Is that an expression of that? Or is it just a dopamine treadmill that has been designed by a bunch of people who are experts in this to get you addicted and make you keep spending your money? Like, consider this question seriously, because there is that sense of loss if you take the idea seriously that you're going to restrict free dopamine and not watch movies and Netflix like everyone else you know, that you need to wonder, okay, well, where is the limit? Can I go to the movie theater with my friends? Can I play a video game now and then? And of course, to some people, this will just seem ridiculous. Like, I'm a human being. Once I get home from work, I'm allowed to do whatever I want with my free time. But if you've moved past that stage and you're considering this, wonder at how many forms of culture you don't consume at all because of just easy Netflix habits. You probably have not gone to a museum in a very long time. You probably have not read an amazing masterpiece fiction novel in a very, very long time. When was the last time you looked at a stained glass window? These things are being just put by the wayside in favor of the dopamine chase, because how much dopamine does a stained glass window give? Maybe a lot, but there's only one in the church, right? You can't scroll through them, and you have to drive there, and you have to pay to get in, And you have to learn about the history of stained glass windows to understand what the image even means and why it's so beautiful and how amazing the technology was that they used to create it. It takes work. Even though all those steps in the process might give you more dopamine, it ain't like going onto Netflix and scrolling for a true crime thing that's gonna give you an adrenaline rush because it's about a murderer and then put you to sleep as you sit there watching it, eating cookies or whatever. You know, it's a wholly different kind of realm of experience that you're almost using to justify the cheap experience. It's like saying, really, it's as simple as saying like, oh, like, but if I don't eat McDonald's every day, I might starve. No, there's plenty of other food out there. There's plenty of other things you could be doing. And the beautiful thing is, very, very few people are going to get addicted to going to orchestra concerts. And I keep using these high culture examples. It doesn't have to be stuff like that. It could be rap concerts even. It could be just anything that actually involves investment and effort and is an actual meaningful experience in your life you might remember years in the future. Anything like that can count. So remember that you are addicted, probably, we all are, to watching cheap, easy forms of entertainment. But that is not justified by your human need to consume culture and art. That can be fulfilled in a million other ways. So let's be honest with ourselves. That's all.